To protect user privacy, Alma offers the option to anonymize loans, fees, resource sharing requests, and requests once they are completed. This means that usernames and user IDs will be removed from those entities once their workflow is complete. Anonymization is performed on a regular basis by the Anonymization Job, and if you wish, you can configure rules to anonymize only the entities of your choosing. In the case of requests, you can configure Alma to anonymize requests immediately upon completion as an alternative to being anonymized by the job. We'll show this option later. First, let's see how to configure the Anonymization Job. Go to Alma Configuration, Fulfillment, General Fulfillment Jobs Configuration. In the Anonymization Job panel, you can configure the job to be active if you'd like to turn on the anonymization option. Select the types of entities to anonymize, from loans, fines and fees, requests, and resource sharing requests. In the case of requests, note that you can configure them to be anonymized immediately upon completion instead of using the job to anonymize them. We'll show this option later. Each one of these anonymization options has anonymization rules that you can configure. In the case of resource sharing requests, you can only configure rules for borrowing requests and not lending requests. However, lending requests will still be anonymized. The rules allow you to define conditions upon which these entities will be anonymized. For example, let's see how to configure fines and fees anonymization rules. Here is the anonymization rules list for fines and fees. Currently, we have one rule here, which is the default. Click Edit to see what it does. This rule has only an output parameter of anonymize equals true, which means all closed fines and fees will be anonymized. If you want only a specific subset of closed fines and fees to be anonymized, for example, to anonymize fines and fees only after 10 days have passed since closing, then set the default rule to false, save, and now let's add another rule of our own with the desired condition. Click Add Rule, give it a name, and an optional description. For input parameters, set the condition for the anonymization. For example, to anonymize fines and fees only 10 days after they were closed. So days since fine or fee was closed is greater than 10. Add parameter. Review your input parameter condition. And for output parameters, make sure anonymize is set to true. Click Save. And now we can see that our new rule has been added in addition to the default rule. Since the default rule is set to false, the only fines and fees that will be anonymized are those that have been closed over 10 days ago. Clicking Cancel allows you to continue configuring the anonymization job. You'll have to refill the parameters and select a schedule for the job to run either daily, weekly, or monthly, or to have it non-scheduled at all. After saving, our anonymization job is now scheduled to run with the rules as we've defined them. Finally, as we mentioned before, you can configure Alma to anonymize requests immediately upon completion instead of via the anonymization job. To turn on this option, in Alma Configuration, Fulfillment, General, go to Other Settings, find the parameter Should anonymize requests immediately when complete, click Options, Customize, and set the parameter to True. And once you click Save, all requests will be anonymized upon completion. When this option is selected, the anonymization job will ignore requests, and its rules will not apply. Thanks for joining.